Hey, it's Dr. Ron Kaiser here from the Mental Health Gym and the Rejuvenating Revolution. I'd like to share one of the questions that I frequently ask patients in therapy. I've got about 5 questions that typically come up at various points within the therapy process. But one of the first ones is, are you a fortune teller? It almost always comes up because it usually is one of the reasons that people get into therapy in the first place, and that's just the tip of the iceberg because most people don't get into therapy. But many people have the belief that if they try something, that they're not going to be successful at it. It may relate to job opportunities, it may relate to relationships, it may relate to trips that you want to take, it may relate to participating actively in providing leadership in groups in which you belong. There are lots of places in which it can occur, but the main thing is when you hold yourself back from trying things, very often it's because of something that you said inside your head, your belief system that it's not going to work, that you're not good enough, that it will be embarrassing, that it won't be worth the effort. How do you know unless you try? Now, I'm not talking about things that you have no interest in. I grew up less than a mile away from a ski jump in Minnesota, and while I learned to ski and enjoyed it, never felt all that interested in learning how to ski jump. I admire people who do, but as I look back decades later, can't say that I regret ever not learning how to ski jump. In fact, as I think back over opportunities, the things that I regret very often are things that I haven't tried as opposed to things that I've tried and fallen short on. But the first step is, do I really want to do it? Once you get that in mind, once you're clear that, hey, this is something that I want to do, then I think it becomes important to assess the odds and to be able to then say, hey, do I want to badly enough that I'm willing to confront those odds? Every year, people graduate from college with a degree that people predicted they would never get. Every year, people earn promotions on the job that they theoretically shouldn't be good enough to get. Every year, people meet and interact with and make commitments to the person that they want to spend their life with. The other side of that coin is many people don't achieve that because they predict that they're not going to be successful, or that it will be, some kind of a disastrous situation or an embarrassing situation or something that won't make it worth it. Again, that means that you're being a fortune teller. If you're being a fortune teller and you're unhappy about the result of your thinking, you're thinking about applying for that job, you decide, hey, I'm never going to get it, and then that gnaws at you, that probably means that your fortune telling isn't serving you well. It's important to not avoid something just because of the belief that it won't be successful. Every day it happens, and every day there are people who are increasingly successful because they didn't allow their fortune teller skill to overcome their desire. In other words, they accepted the fact that, hey, I may be a lousy fortune teller, but this is something that I want to do, and so I'm going to go ahead and go for it. It may be a new way of thinking for some of you, but it can also be a new way of succeeding. Positive mental health depends upon being able to tell yourself the appropriate things that don't hold you back. If fortune telling holds you back from making a rational decision, then that's an irrational way to lead your life. And if you're having difficulty with that, that's the kind of time to look to a therapist or coach or someone who can help you sort out the appropriateness of making a decision that's based on thought and reason and not possibly erroneous fortune telling. Fortune telling can occur at every stage of life. Make sure that you learn how to not be a fortune teller, to not overrate your fortune telling skills wherever you are in the lifespan, and you're likely to enjoy your quality of life much better and achieve more successes than you would if you held yourself back, and really appreciate those successes more because you overcame negative thinking to make yourself feel better about yourself. This has been Dr. Ron. Looking forward to talking with you next time. And remember, don't be a fortune teller to the detriment of your potential for success.